History made. Chicago-born Robert Francis Prevost becomes Pope Leo XIV, the first American ever to lead the Catholic Church. What will this former Peru missionary and Vatican insider bring to St. Peter's throne? White Smoke delivers daily bulletins tracking this unprecedented pontificate as it unfolds. Will Leo XIV continue Francis's inclusive vision or forge a new path blending American pragmatism with Latin American experience? And what does his papal name choice signal about his priorities? White Smoke. Essential daily insights where ancient tradition meets modern challenge. New episodes every day wherever you get your podcasts.
Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where it seems less crazy for some reason, this is Ballot.
That's right. It's like if a disruptive presence has left the town. Call the Ghostbusters. Let's hit this. The President of the United States is currently on a Middle Eastern tour, and according to reports, Trump is absolutely mesmerized by the wealth of his hosts. The man looked at the marble in Qatar's palace and called it perfecto, which is either Spanish for perfect or what happens when you let a real estate developer loosen a palace gift shop. Apparently, Trump spent the whole trip gawking at the gleaming marvels of Saudi Arabia's skyline and complaining that Air Force One is much smaller and much less impressive than what the Gulf states are flying around in. The President of the United States, leader of the free world, commander of the world's most powerful military, is basically having jet envy. He's out there saying these countries all have brand new Boeing 747s, while he's stuck with a plane that's nearly 4 decades old. And here's where it gets really good. Trump is so desperate for an upgrade that he's actually considering accepting a donated plane from Qatar. A donated plane from a foreign government. The Constitution has this little thing about foreign gifts, but apparently that's just a suggestion when you really, really want a nicer ride. The whole trip reads like lifestyles of the rich and autocratic. Trump told the Qatari emir, quote, "The job you've done is second to none," while literally staring up at the ceiling like he was at the Sistine Chapel. Meanwhile, back home, Trump's already planning his White House renovations. He wants to build a beautiful ballroom like I have at Mar-a-Lago and promises to pay the $100 million bill himself. He also wants to pave over the Rose Garden, yes, the Rose Garden, and turn it into a patio with gorgeous stone, because apparently flowers are for amateurs. The Oval Office already got the Trump treatment, 24-karat gold accents everywhere. He's got so many presidential portraits hanging up, it looks like a presidential trading card collection came to life. And he keeps a copy of the Declaration of Independence behind a curtain that he dramatically unveils for guests. Nothing says constitutional democracy like treating the founding document of our republic like you're revealing a new car at an auto show. In what might be the most innovative approach to international diplomacy since bribing your toddler with ice cream to behave at a restaurant, President Trump has suggested that Russia might get to play soccer again if they just, stop invading Ukraine. During a meeting with FIFA President Gianni Infantino at the first gathering of his administration's World Cup task force, Trump was apparently shocked to learn that Russia has been banned from international soccer competitions since 2022. I guess nobody briefed him on this crucial geopolitical development during his presidential transition. "I didn't know that, is that right?" Trump asked, with all the surprise of someone who just discovered that water is wet. When Infantino confirmed that Russia was indeed banned but could potentially be readmitted if peace happens, Trump had a eureka moment. That's possible. Hey, could be a good incentive, right? Yes, because if there's one thing that will convince Vladimir Putin to end a devastating conflict that's killed thousands, it's the opportunity to get eliminated in the group stage of the World Cup. That's like telling someone, if you stop burning down the neighborhood, we'll let you compete in the local bowling league. Trump added, "We want to get them to stop. We want them to stop. 5,000 people a week are being killed. It's not even believable." You know what else isn't believable? That after a war costing countless lives and billions of dollars, the tipping point would be missing the soccer tournament. Meanwhile, Russia hasn't played a competitive match since November 2021, but has managed to win 11 out of 16 friendlies. which is impressive considering they're only allowed to play against countries that don't mind being on NATO's naughty list. Infantino said back in April that he wanted to bring Russia back in the football landscape because this would mean that everything is solved. Because nothing says everything is solved quite like letting a country play soccer again. World peace achieved, mission accomplished. Everyone gets a participation trophy. So there you have it. World War III might be averted not through diplomacy, sanctions, or military deterrence, but through the promise of letting 11 Russians kick a ball around a field in North America. Who knew international relations could be so simple?
What happens when one of the most powerful men in music is accused of some of the most serious crimes imaginable? This is Did He Do It, a daily podcast following the federal sex crimes trial of Sean Diddy Combs. I'm your host, Nate Oliver, and every weekday I'll take you inside the courtroom where prosecutors say Combs ran a criminal enterprise of sex trafficking, coercion, and abuse, using his fame, fortune, and influence to silence victims and control lives. We'll cover the big stories and the small moments that could shift the verdict. The trial has begun. The questions are piling up. And every day we'll be asking the same thing. Did he do it? Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Tired of doom scrolling? Want news that won't make you want to live in a bunker? Check out 5 Good News Stories, where they find the silver lining in a world that's usually lined with something much less pleasant. The gang at 5 Good News Stories dig through the headlines to find 5 stories that prove humanity hasn't completely lost its mind. It's pretty much the opposite of this show. From scientific breakthroughs nobody's talking about to random acts of kindness that restore your faith in humanity, all delivered with the cutting wit you deserve. 5 Good News Stories, because sometimes the news doesn't have to suck. Subscribe to 5 Good News Stories wherever you get your podcasts. Speaking of sports, a Kansas City Chiefs superfan known as ChiefsAholic was sentenced to 32 years in prison for bank robbery. Apparently, the ChiefsAholics robbed a teacher's credit union in Oklahoma to fund his social media stardom because apparently being a sports influencer doesn't pay what it used to. His lawyer says it was all due to a gambling addiction, which raises the question, what kind of twisted gambling problem do you develop when you're already getting that rush from watching the Chiefs in the playoffs? The man was literally dressed as a wolf at games. Most people just buy an overpriced jersey and call it a day. The judge gave him 32 years, which is a lot of time to think about whether those Instagram followers were really worth it. So, Oxford Street in London, you know, that famous shopping district where the British go to buy tea cozies and commemorative plates of the royal family, has been overrun by American candy stores. But these aren't your average sugar pushers. A tourist was charged £899.99, that's $1,200, for 2 packs of candy. 2! I've paid less for dental work after eating American candy. Maybe those tariffs are working. When the police showed up at this sugar den of inequity, the employees literally ran away through a secret panel in the wall. A secret panel! They weren't selling Sour Patch Kids. They were auditioning for Scooby-Doo villains. Behind this panel, police found 80,000 pounds. Money, not weight. That's $107,000 worth of fake and unsafe goods. The cops also discovered an escape door leading to the street. Because nothing says legitimate business like having an emergency escape route built into your candy shop. These stores have been multiplying across Oxford Street since the pandemic. They sell things like goldfish crackers and Sour Patch Kids at prices that would make Jeff Bezos say, "Whoa, that seems excessive." The Westminster City Council leader called these shops a blight on Oxford Street, which is British for "they really suck." Police have seized more than $1.3 million worth of fake and unsafe goods from these stores in the past 2 years, including vapes, counterfeit Paddington Bear merchandise, and cereal with ingredients that are banned in the UK. The good news is that the tourist got a refund after bringing the police back to the store. The bad news is that these candy shops are harder to get rid of than that weird uncle at Thanksgiving who keeps talking about conspiracy theories. I guess the moral of the story is, if you're in London and want American candy, maybe just eat fish and chips instead. It's cheaper and won't make you run through a secret panel in the wall when the authorities show up. Portions of today's program were made with the help of FIFA, chocolate, and American AI.